I learn in this letter that Don Peter of Aragon comes this night to Messina.
He is very near by this. He was not 3 leagues off when I left him.
How many gentlemen have you lost in this action?
But few of any sort, and none married.
The victory is twice itself, and the achiever brings home full numbers. I find here that Don Peter hath bestowed much honor on a young Florentine named Claudio.
Much deserved on his part, and equally remembered by Don Pedro. He hath borne himself beyond the promise of his age, doing in the figure of a lamb the feats of a lion. He hath indeed bettered expectations than you must expect of me to tell you how.
He hath an uncle here in Messina, who will be very much glad of it.
I have already delivered him letters, and there appears much joy in it, even so much that joy could not show itself modest enough without a badge of bitterness.
Did he break out into tears?
In great measure.
A kind of overflow of kindness. There are no faces truer than those that are so washed. How much better is it to weep at joy than to joy at weeping?
I pray you, did Signor Montalto return from the wars, or no?
I know none of that name, lady. There was none such in the army of any sort.
What is he that you ask for, niece?
My cousin meets Signor Benedict of Claudia.
Oh, he's returned and as pleasant as ever he was.
He set up his bills here in Messina and challenged Cupid at the fight, and my uncle's fool, reading the challenge, subscribed for Cupid, and challenged him at the bird booth. I pray you, how many hath he killed and eaten in his wounds? But how many hath he killed? For indeed I promise to eat all of his killing.
Faith, niece, you tax Signor Benedict too much, but he'll be mean with you, I doubt it not.
He hath done good service, lady, in his wars.
You had musty victual, and ye hath how to eat it. He is a very valiant treasureman. He hath an excellent stomach.
And a good soldier, too, lady.
And a good soldier to a lady? What is he to a lord?
A lord to a lord, a man to a man. Stuffed with all honorable virtues.
It is so, indeed. He is no less than a stuffed man. For the stuffing, well, we are all mortal.
You must not, sir, mistake my niece. There is a kind of merry war betwixt Signor Benedict and her. They never meet, but there's a skirmish of wit between them.
Alas, he gets nothing by that. In our last conflict, 4 of his 5 ways of women halting up, and now he's the let him bear for a difference between himself and his horse, for it is all the wealth that he hath lived. To be known a reasonable creature, who is his companion then, he hath every month a new sworn brother.
It's possible.
Very easily possible. Where is his weight? That is the fashion of his head. Ever changing with the next battle.
I see, lady. The gentleman is not one to keep your books.
No, any year. I would burn myself, but I pray you, this is companion. Is there no young squire now that will make a voyage with him to the devil?
He is most in the company of the right noble Claudio.
Oh Lord, he'll hang upon him like a disease, and sooner caught than the pestilence. The tinker runs presently mad. God help the noble Claudio, if he ever have caught the Benedict. It will cost him £1,000 a year, and he be cured.
I will hold friends with you, lady.
Dear good friend.
You'll never run mad, niece.
No, not till a hot January.
Don Pedro is approached.
Three?
Good Signor Leonardo, you are come to meet your trouble. The fashion of the world is to avoid cause, and you encounter it.
Never came trouble to my house in the likeness of your grace. For trouble being gone, comfort should remain. But when you depart from me, sorrow abides, and happiness takes its leave.
You embrace your charge too willingly. I think this is your daughter.
Her mother hath many times told me so. Were you in doubt, sir, that you asked her? Signor Benedict, no, for then you were a child.
You have it full, Benedict. You may guess by this what you are, being a man. Truly the lady fathers herself. Be happy, lady, for you are like an honorable father.
If Signor Leonardo be her father, she would not have his head on her shoulders for all Messina, as like him as she is.
I wonder that you will still be talking, Signor Benedict. Nobody marks you.
What, my dear Lady Disdain? Are you yet living?
Is it possible Disdain should die while she has such meat food to feed it as Signor Benedict? Courtesy itself must convert you Disdain if you come in her presence.
And is courtesy a turncoat? But it is certain I am loved of all ladies, only you excepted. And I would I could find in my heart that I had not a hard heart, for truly I love none.
A dear happiness to women. They would else have been troubled with that personous sooner. I thank God in my cold blood. I am of your humor for that. I had rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loved me.
God, keep your ladyship still in that mind, so some gentlemen on others shall escape a predestined scratched face.
Scratching could not make it worse. Ain't for such a face as yours were.
Well, you are a rare parrot, teacher.
A bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours.
I would my horse have the speed of your tongue, and so good it continue. But keep your way, God's name, I have none.
You always end with the jade's trick. I know you of old.
That is the sum of all, Leonato, Signor Claudio, and Signor Benedict. My dear friend Leonato hath invited you all, I tell him. We shall stay here at least a month, and he heartily prays some occasion may detain us longer. I dare swear he is no hypocrite, but prays from his heart.
If you swear, my lord, you shall not be forsworn. Let me bid you welcome, my lord. Being reconciled to the prince your brother, I owe you all duty.
I thank you. I am not of many words, but I thank you.
Please at your grace, lead on.
Your hand, Leonato, we will go together.
Benedict, didst thou note the daughter of Signor Leonato?
I noted her not, but I looked on her.
Is she not a modest young lady?
Do you question me, as an honest man should do, through my simple, true judgment? Or would you have me speak after my custom, as we profess tyranny to their sex?
No, I pray thee in sober judgment.
Why, I faith, methinks she's too low for a high praise, too brown for a fair praise, and too little for a great praise. Only this commendation I can afford her, that were she other than she is, she were unhandsome. And being no other but as she is, I do not like her.
Thou thinkest I am in sport. I pray thee, tell me truly how thou likest her.
Would you buy her that you inquire after her?
Can the world buy such a jewel?
Yeah, and a case to put it in. But speak you this with a sad brow, or do you play the flouting jack? To tell us Cupid is a good hair finder and Vulcan, a rare carpenter. Come, in what key shall a man take you to go in this song?
In mine eyes, she's the sweetest lady that ever I looked on.
I can see yet without spectacles, and I see no such matter. There's her cousin, and she were not possessed with a fury exceeds her as much in beauty as the first maid doth the last of December. But I hope you have no intent to turn husband. Have you?
I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn the contrary, if Hero would be my wife.
It's come to this, I faith. Hath not the world one man, but will wear his cap with suspicion? Shall I never see a bachelor of 80 again? Woe to I faith, thou wilt needs that thrust thy neck into a yoke, for the prince of it and sigh away Sundays. Look, Don Pedro is approaching.
What secret hath you held here, that you followed not to Leonato's?
I would your grace would constrain me to tell.
I charge thee on thy alliance.
You hear, Count Claudio? I can be secret as a dumb man. I would have you think so, but on my allegiance, mark you this, on my allegiance, he is in love. With who? Now that is your grace's part. Mark how short his answer is. With Hero, Leonato's short daughter.
If this were so, so were it uttered.
Like the old tale, my lord, it is not so, lords, was not so, but indeed, God forbid it should be so.
If my passion change not shortly, God forbid it should be otherwise.
Amen. If you love her, for the lady is very well worthy.
Speak this to fetch me in, my lord.
By my troth, I speak my thought.
peace and trust, my lord, I spoke mine.
Better love her, I feel.
That she is worthy, I know.
That I neither feel how she should be loved, nor know how she should be worthy, is the opinion that fire cannot melt out of me. I will die in it at the stake.
Thou wast ever an obstinate heretic in the despite of beauty.
And never could maintain his part, but in the force of his will.
That a woman conceived me, I thank her. That she brought me up, I likewise give her most humble thanks. But that I will have a recheat winded in my forehead, or hang my bugle in an invisible baldric, all women shall pardon me. Because I will not do them wrong to mistrust any. I will do myself the right to trust none. And the fine is, for which I may go the finer, I will live a bachelor.
I shall see thee ere I die, look pale with love.
With anger, with sickness, or with hunger, my lord, not with love. Prove that ever I lose more blood with love than I will get again with drinking. Pick out mine eyes with a ballad maker's pen, and hang thee at the door of the brothel house for the sign of the blind Cupid.
Well, if ever thou dost fall from this faith, thou wilt prove a notable art.
If I do, hang me in a bottle with a cat and shoot at me, and he that hits me, let him be clapped on the shoulder and named Adam.
Well, as time shall try in time, the savage bull doth bear the yoke.
The savage bull may, but if ever the sensible Benedict bear, pluck off the bull's horns and set them in my forehead, and let me be vilely painted, and in such great letters as they write, here is the good horse to hire, let them signify under my sign. Here you may see Benedict, the married man.
This should ever happen, thou wouldst be horn mad.
Nay, if Cupid hath not spent all his quiver in Venice, thou wilt quake for this shortly.
I look for an earthquake too, then.
Well, you temporize with the hours. In the meantime, good Signor Benedict, repair to Leonato's, commend me to him, and tell him I will not fail him at supper, for indeed he hath made great preparation.
I have almost matter enough in me for such an massage, and so I commit you.
To the tuition of God, for my house, if I had it.
The 6th of July, your loving friend,
Nay, mock not, mock not. The body of your discourse is sometime guarded with fragments, and the guards are slightly basted on neither. Ere you flout old ends any further, examine your conscience, and so I leave you.
My liege, your highness now may use.
my love is thine to teach. Teach it but how, and thou shalt see how apt it is to learn. Any hard lesson that may do you good.
Hath Leonato any son, my lord?
No child, but hero. She's his only heir. Dost thou affect her?
Oh, my lord, when you went onward in this ended action, I looked upon her with a soldier's eye, that liked, but had a rougher task in hand, than to drive liking to the name of love. But now I am returned, and that war thoughts have left their places vacant in their rooms. Come thronging soft and delicate desires, all prompting my how fair young hero is, saying, I liked your ear, I went to wars.
Thou wilt be like a lover presently, and tire the hero with a book of words. If thou dost love fair hero, cherish it, and I will break with her and with her father, and thou shalt have her. What's this to this end? And thou beginnest to twist so fine a story.
How sweetly you do minister to love. Thou know love's grief by its complexion, but lest my liking might too sudden seem, I would have selled it with a longer treatise.
What need the bridge much broader than the flood? The fairest grant is the necessity. Look, what will serve its fit? 'Tis once thou lovest, and I will fit thee with the remedy. I know we shall have a reveling tonight, and I will assume that part into disguise, and tell fair hero I am Claudio, and in her bosom I'll enclasp my heart, and take her hearing prisoner with the force and strong encounter of our